What do you think when you hear the word Nepal? Nepal is one of the most beautiful places in the world, a country with highly diverse and rich geography, culture and religion. A landlocked country in South Asia bordered by two giant nations, China in the north and India in the south, contain 8 of the world's 10th highest peaks, including the highest point in the world, Mount Everest. It is the ultimate destination for those who thrive for an extreme adventure. Being a Himalayan country, Nepal contains some of the most rugged and difficult mountain terrain in the world. Roughly 75% of the country is covered by mountains. So because of that, transport in Nepal is quite difficult because it passes through tough terrain. And here it is very expensive and difficult to construct road and railways. But for the development of any country require the transportation system to work smoothly. So now Nepal needs to work on it and make the system better. For this, Nepal needs to cooperation of its neighboring countries. Nepal is quite dependent on India for its import and export. In 2015, Nepal faced a major economic blockade that happened on the Nepal-India border. Due to this, Nepal's trade route was completely closed and goods that came from India were blocked. Nepal imports most of its items like oil, gas, medicine, etc. from India, and after this blockade, it faced a severe shortage. According to the data, 90% of Nepal's raw material used to come from Ergun custom point India, which is also stopped. Due to this, Nepal had faced a heavy economic crisis and the prices of many things in Nepal started skyrocketing. So after this economic blockade, Nepal started exploring options to establish connectivity with the north to overcome the country's almost complete dependency on India, so that the next time such a situation arises, it has other options too. China came as an alternative to Nepal. The bilateral relation between China and Nepal is defined by the Sino-Nepalese Treaty of Peace and Friendship signed on April 28, 1960 by the two countries, and since 2015 they have become even better. Nepal needed to strengthen its relationship with the China and find the new avenue of trade. In 2016, Nepal's then Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli visited China and a treaty was signed between these two countries. According to this treaty, both countries proposed a railway line to be established from Kathmandu to China's border. Was it the first step to connect Nepal and China through a trade route? No. History of Sino-Nepal trade routes. In 1961, when Nepal and China signed an agreement to build a highway linking Kathmandu to Lhasa, there was a misgiving about the Beijing strategic motive. India and China were about to go to war along the Himalayas and the Cold War was its peak. King Mahendra allies those who fear by his famous saying, "Communism does not travel by taxi." In 1973, Mao Zedong proposed a connection between the two countries to King Birendra of Nepal in Beijing. The same year, then chairman of the Tibet Autonomous Region told then Prime Minister of Nepal that the railway line would be extended to Shigaste to eventually the China-Nepal border. But at that time, there was no official conversation about the railway line between Nepal and China. So after that, the treaty was signed between these two countries in 2016. In the year of 2018, governments of both the nations gave official approval. After this official approval, an ambitious project came into existence. Kathmandu Railway, also known as Trans-Himalayan Railway. So let's know about this railway project. Kathmandu Railway Project. Kathmandu Railway Project is an ambitious project between China and Nepal. As we can see on the map, it connects the Nepal's capital Kathmandu with Kaerung in Tibet Autonomous Region through a railway line near the Nepal-China border. The cost of this project will be approximately $5.5 billion and China will bear the cost of project being developed on its site and it will provide the financial assistance to Nepal for the development of railway on its site. And sources reveal that Chinese company will lead this project. The total length of this railway line is about 170 km. 72 km area of Nepal, which passes through snowy mountain and the difficult terrain of the Himalayan region. One noticeable fact about this project is 1/3 of this whole project and 98.5% of construction in Nepal will be through tunnels and bridges. The route will start from Kerang to Rasuwa Gandhi and propose the alignment would be includes 30 km of tunnel beneath the Lantang National Park to reach the outskirts of Kathmandu. Its extension line is planned to be later connect to the two major cities of Nepal, Pokhara and Lumbini. As we can understand from the fact and data that this is a costly project. Then why China is ready for such an expensive project? Let's know. China's interest in Nepal. As we know about the China's ambitious project Belt and Road Initiative includes Nepal as well, and we can see this project is connection with Belt and Road Initiative. But if we go into details, China also sees Nepal as its market, and this project is being considered as counter to India. Nepal import more than 65% of its goods from India, which is roughly cost about $6 billion US. India enjoy a trade surplus about $5.4 billion US. On the other side, Nepal imports around $1.24 billion worth of goods from China, which is merely 12% of its total import. Maybe if this project get completed, what India enjoy right now can be taken over by China. If we see in recent past, China's interest in South Asian nation has been increasing rapidly, and now China sees Nepal as its new trade partner. So now it is important to know what are the benefits of Nepal. Nepal's benefit. Economic blockade 2015 has shown that how much Nepal depends on imports from India. Around 65% of its import are from India. So if Kerang-Kathmandu railway project will be completed, then a new option will be always ready to Nepal. Finding new trade routes. Kerang-Kathmandu railway project will open new trade routes for Nepal. In addition to big market like India, it is now able to access Chinese market as well. Nepal can use Chinese seaport like Tianjin seaport, which is the nearest seaport from Nepal. It is around 4,000 km from Kathmandu, and also use Shanghai seaport too. It was also visible when the president of Nepal, Vibhustuti, had signed a deal with China in 2019, where China has given to access to Nepal of its major land ports like Langzhou, Lhasa and Sigaste and its seaports. Currently, Nepal receives most of its overseas product containers from Kolkata, which is roughly 1000 km far from Kathmandu. Then they are loaded on trucks and driven to Nepal through India. Through Kerang-Kathmandu railways, Chinese containers and goods will be able to reach Nepal easily and faster. And in case of another blockade, Nepal can import or export its container through Chinese ports. Apart from this, Nepal can import cheaper raw material from China, which help in its industrial production and development. A major benefit Nepal can get from this railway project is tourism. Tourism benefits. Tourism industry contribute approximately 8% of Nepal's GDP, and it has a potential to make it a bigger industry because of its natural beauty, attractive culture, World Heritage Site and adventurous tourism. In the last 10 years, the number of Chinese tourists has almost doubled around the globe. According to the data of 2020, around 1.45 million Chinese tourists from China went all over the globe for tourism. Kerang-Kathmandu railway project will open new gate for Nepal's tourism. Challenges related to this mega project. Kerang-Kathmandu railway project is going to be one of the most difficult projects in the world. Marvelous engineering will be necessary to make this project possible. Construction and cost issues. Technically, this will be one of the world's toughest railway to construct, and the Himalaya tunnel route from Kerang to Kathmandu would be more challenging and costly. They will have to cut through protected areas and geographical unstable regions that are exposed to glacier outburst and flood due to climate change. The feasible study has not yet been made public, but is set to list 6 extremes that will be challenging: topography, weather, hydrology, tectonics and cost. Current scenario. it is quite visible that there is not much progress has been made this project. So far, Nepal's action has been limited, participating in discussion and signing MOUs. Framework agreement was signed in 2016 for Trans-Himalayan multi-dimension connectivity network, and President Vidya Devi Bhandari even attended the summit of 2019 of BRI Forum. China had committed to financial detail report DPR for 72-kilometer rail line between Kathmandu to Rashiva Gandhi during President Xi Jinping visit in October 2019. But since then, government planners have blamed the pandemic for delay in taking plans forward. And from the sources, firstly, China will complete the Singasti to Kerung railway route. Its deadline has been now extended to 2025. Only after that, the work can be started on Kerung-Kathmandu railway. Ecological impact. Kerung-Kathmandu railway project is being built in ecological zones. The Nepal-China railway will passes through two national parks, Langtang and Shivapuri. Langtang boasts endangered and vulnerable species like red panda and snow leopards, while Shivapuri on the northern side of Kathmandu is home over the 300 bird species and one-third of country's total birds. Yet, while economical, political and technical issue is dominating railway discussion, environmental impact are not even on the radar. And the same side, the growth of illegal wild smuggling along the railway route is one of the major concerns. Maintenance cost. After the construction of this mega project, its maintenance will be even more challenging. If we talk about Nepal, there is no running railway line in Nepal yet, and successive governments in Kathmandu have not even able to maintain existing highways to Kodari to Rashiva Gandhi to international standard. Apart from this, railway route comes under the sensitive earthquake zone. If Nepal had to face a problem like 2015 earthquake again in future, then how will it cover the cost of rebuilding this project again? The heavy cost of this mega project is a major concern for Nepal too. There are fear of potential financial burden on country. World's media are concerned about the China's debt trap to Nepal. So let's know about the debt trap concern. So let's talk about Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is the one of the best example that came in China's debt trap and had given its major port Hambantota to China on 99 years of lease. So can Nepal will be next Sri Lanka? For this, we must know the financial situation of Nepal. 31.46% of Nepal's total debt comes from two major banks, $3.96 billion from the World Bank and $2.4 billion from Asian Development Bank. If we look at the country-wise debt on Nepal, Japan, which is 4.41% of total debts on Nepal, followed by China, which is 3.39%, and then India. The debt from China to Nepal in last 5 years is increasing in a minor way, which has increased from 1.93% in 2015 and 3.39% in the year of 2020. And if we talk about the Kerung-Kathmandu railway project, then Nepal has to spend about $2.4 billion, which has not been discussed yet. According to the sources, Nepal is not ready to bear all costs of construction of its area under the railway project. Apparently, it is visible that Nepal is trying to avoid taking heavy debt from China. So, if we look about the current scenario, Nepal is avoiding major loans. So, what do you think? Nepal is in debt trap of China? Other perspective. What do you think about this project? According to the survey had done on JaiNepal YouTube channel, question asked, is Kerung-Kathmandu railway project is good for Nepal interest? Where 84% of people say yes, 9% say no, and cannot say is 8%. So what are your views on this project? India's stand. There is no official comment that has been made by Government of India on this Kerung-Kathmandu railway project. But if we talk about the Indian satellite media, then Indian media report this project as Chinese intervention in Nepal-India relation, or China is trying to make a rift between India and Nepal healthy relation. Geopolitical impact. Somewhere in long run, it may have an impact on relationship between India and Nepal because India is enjoying a mega trade surplus. Apart from this, India does not like Chinese intervention on its neighbor. So we can see the impact of this mega project later in relationship between India and Nepal. Conclusion. The prospect of trans-Himalayan connectivity has historically been a sensitive geopolitical issue since it concerned the region's main rivals, China and India. Nepal is like a buffer zone between these two rivals. Kathmandu railway can open new gate for Nepal's development. So keeping in mind its interest, Nepal will have to balance relation with both the neighboring countries. But many questions still arise. Is this project possible or is it only political tokenism? Is this project in the interest of Nepal? Will this project will affect ecological system of Himalayas? What is your opinion? Please comment below. Your every comment is valuable for us.